What's up, bitches? Hopefully, the ambient noise isn't too loud. I've got drums in the background. It's kind of windy, but that's the vibe that I'm picking up right now. What's up, bitches? It's so bratty. Had to pull on it. Like, what is that? So let's see what's going on. I set up my rocks outside, let them get some fresh light, fresh air, whatever. Plus, it's just beautiful outside, even though it's windy. I hate the wind. Always makes me feel squirrely. Um, but yeah, the vibe in general, though, out there is very complex. Um, I'm feeling a lot of people that are going through some really intense things. And then there's some people that are like just fine. There's some people who are just fine. They're doing good. Um, some on one side of the spiritual spectrum and some on the other, meaning like not very spiritual. Um, but if but I think by and large, a lot of people are having some really complicated internal environments right now. And then we got what's up, bitches? I think it's from Sunny in Philadelphia. Always Sunny in Philadelphia. Anyway, all right, let's figure it out. Hopefully the wind doesn't blow away my cards. I would get irritated. Ooh. I'm not great at pulling these cards. Jesus fuck. Okay. Knight of Cups. What's up, bitches? King of Wands. Ooh, there's one hidden under here. Ooh, the star reversed. Yikes, what's happening? The Knight of Cups. Mr. Romance. Clarified by the King of Wands, the Four of Swords, and the Star in reverse. King of Wands, natural leader, visionary, experienced, mature, career focused, passionate. Four of Swords, rest, relaxation, meditation, contemplation. But then the Star reversed, lack of faith, despair, discouragement. I feel like that's kind of like what the energies feel like right now. Like rest and relaxation. And then you look at these people that are like in despair. Let me sit with this for a second. Okay, I get what's going on here. It's 3 separate readings. So I had to move the cards around, and once I moved them apart from each other, it made sense. So it's 3 separate readings because it's 3 separate collectives is what I'm picking up on. That's why it feels so confusing. Interesting. Anyway, I'm new at this, so this is like fascinating to me. You and I get to be new at this together. Anyway, so we'll start out with the Knight of Cups and the King of Wands because those came out the first, and then we'll hold off on the people who are feeling chill and the people who are feeling in despair. We'll do those as 2 separate readings. So, starting out, as per usual, I pick up the masculine energies most predominantly. This doesn't necessarily mean that you are a man. It's just like that's the energy that your vibration is putting forward. That when you step into a room, you exude charm, beauty, that you're a natural leader, that you're a big picture thinker, that you're mature and you're career focused, but you're also creative. And you're a bit of a romantic, passionate as well. Like, those are the aspects that we're talking about here. So if that resonates with you, this is for you. Knight of Cups is signified by the Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. It's a water sign. And King of Wands is a fire sign, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. Strength upright, courage, passion, power, persuasion, inner strength, focus, and compassion. The thing I like about the strength card is that it's this picture of somebody, like a person, a woman usually, um, prying open the mouth of a lion. And the idea is that strength is meant to be true strength, is not something that requires force, because obviously she's not stronger than the lion. The idea is that she's prying it open through different means, through the type of inner strength that comes from like inner knowing and knowing yourself. It's true strength, not just strength of muscle or how big you can flail about when you're angry. So whoever you are, you got some charisma about you. Like you got some confidence, some spark, some pizzazz. Something here wants to come out. The Hermit. Soul searching, introspection, contemplation, wisdom, truth seeking, being alone, inner guidance, meditation, and consciousness. So this gives me the sense when strength is when the Hermit is underneath strength, that gives me the sense that like, because Knight of Cups and King of Wands, those are kind of very like forward facing movement, passion oriented signs. But then to have strength in the Hermit, that's like, this feels like a dragon inside their cave. This feels like somebody gaining strength, plotting their next move. What's up, bitches? Yeah, this is somebody getting their inner gumption moving. Yeah. So the Magician in reverse and the Lovers upright. The Magician is going to go up here. The Lovers is clarifying. Poor planning. Last time, poor planning. Lack of confidence and narcissism got in the way. Not this time. This dragon's in its cave. It's plotting its return. Temperance in the upright. Balance, harmony, moderation, patience, being sensible. This dragon is planning how to come back to this harmonic person that they found. Last time they shit the bed. Sorry. Even I find that slang distasteful. 3 of Wands, preparation, progress, foresight, overseas opportunities, moving forward. This dude, my lights, the dude staring off into the distance with his 3 wands. That's what I'm talking about. This dragon in its cave. It's plotting, looking for. There's something about the Lovers. So this is a love reading. But this masculine energy has its sights locked in on something. But like the first round got shut down. Which is why we have the Magician in reverse. Because, Knight of Cups makes me think a little bit of like Knight of Wands, which is like the fuckboy energy when it comes to romance. And I feel like that's probably how this was presented the first round. Is, hey baby, what's up, bitch? And that got shut down. And so it's become apparent to you that this other person requires a different tactic, because you can't seem to get them out of your head. Yes, Miss Queen of Pentacles. Miss Queen of Pentacles, nurturing, practical, supportive, reliable, good financial workings, a good parent, secure, maternal instinct, wise. It's somebody who knows their shit. 6 of Pentacles in reverse. Six of Pentacles upright is like the concept of generosity, and in reverse, but it's one-sided. Unfairness, self-care. I don't read this as a concept of greed. I read this as a perception of where this feminine is in time right now. The Queen of Pentacles is very practical. It's very grounded, firm boundaries, very pragmatic. And if she's in Six of Pentacles energy, that means she is not going to be generous with her time, that her boundaries are up. The wealth that she has to give is not for you. Ace of Swords. That's right. Success, breakthrough, new ideas, sharp mind. Swords is the idea of communication. Slicing words is always how I think of it. Ace of Swords is the concept of growing a backbone. It's like your spine up your back, as one of my friends says, and I love the way she talks about the cards. But anyway, so it's the concept of growing a backbone. If you came in the first time around in that kind of sleazy Knight of Wands energy and got shut down, then it's asking for a certain amount of integrity. A Queen of Pentacles wouldn't ask for anything less. And so if you're somebody that Seven of Cups tends to have a lot of choices, tends to not need to repair relationships all that often because you can just kind of move on to the next one. This is a little harder, isn't it? You're going to have to say things, and you're going to have to mean it, and you're going to have to follow through. You're going to have to own those mistakes. But with someone like you are the kind of person that is used to just kind of explaining yourself. You just got to explain yourself. All you got to do is Ace of Swords. You just have to explain yourself. That's all you need to do. Once you explain yourself, she's going to understand. She's going to understand. You sure about that? You sure about that, sweet? All fucking ridiculous. Ace of Wands in reverse. Apathy, boredom, lack of energy, lack of passion, unfinished. I think that's how that's going to get received, my friend. If you come in after having shit the bed and tell her that you just needed to explain yourself, you are a fool, my friend. A fool. A Queen of Pentacles is going to want depth. They're going to want grounding. They're going to want real, measurable changes. And they're going to want depth. Do you think that you can come up to a Queen of Pentacles and just tell her your feelings and assume that she's not going to have anything to say in return? What's up, bitches? She's going to tear you a fucking new one, dude, if you do that. Eight of Swords in reverse. 10 of Cups in reverse. Yep. Self-limiting beliefs, anger, guilt, but then also opening to new perspectives, self-acceptance, and freedom. With the 10 of Cups in reverse, which is like shattered, broken family. This is also, so it's like Eight of Cups is kind of this victim mentality where you've got this person um, with the blindfold on, and they're just standing there, but there's nobody there. They just need to wake up and like take the blindfold off. And so in reverse, this is symbolizing that you're taking the blindfold off. You're trying to see clearly, because you understand that that kind of stands in the way of this Ten of Cups life that you're trying to get to. But I also see this as not understanding fully. It's like you're walking away, but you haven't fully taken the blindfold off. You're going to do your best to change, to grow. But I've said this so many times before, the biggest test comes with how you interact with other people. You're going to feel good, and then you're going to walk up to her, and she might have a few things to say to you. And some of the things that she says might be totally valid and might mean that even though you looked in yourself, you didn't look deep enough, or you didn't look over here, or you didn't look over there. This is why we talk about father wounds and mother wounds. You have to be able to take constructive criticism from somebody that you admire, that somebody you want to build a Ten of Cups life with. Compatibility is finding common ground. And all I see here is somebody thinking about what they need to say to this other person, which means you haven't said anything. This is still ongoing. You're still thinking about talking to this person. You never repaired this. You just let it sit. Baby, come on now. All right. Let's get some advice here. Yeah, I think this one, we'll start here. I see why so many tarot card readers have like a gazillion decks behind them, because I am already like accumulating decks. Some of them I just don't like resonate very well with, and you don't know until you have them. And some of them just like hit the spot. I do want more oracle decks though, because I like some of the where it's just like a specific word, because sometimes the word triggers thoughts in my mind. And so when it's just pictures, it's nice. It can be hard. Okay, so I'm doing the clarifying life situations. Oh shit, this deck's big. Ooh. Emerging dawn. Trust that everything every ending is another beginning coming in disguise. And the duality dance. Seek balance amid the chaos and find harmony within yourself. I feel like there might be overlap in this collective and in the despair collective, but we'll see. Let's see what this one is. Labyrinth of choices. Chart your course through the perplexing labyrinth of choices, embracing each turn as part of your complex journey. I think so. It's like, okay, let me see. Let me show you what I'm seeing. All right, so I got these two cards, and then I got this guy, right? And so it feels like there's this dude that's like dangling there, and he can choose this side or he can choose this side. Here's the overthinking, and here's the leading with your heart. Emerging dawn. That's how that looks to me. A labyrinth of choices, or stepping out into the light. And here you are. I don't know what to do. Okay. And part of it, like part of the idea there is honest echoes. Yeah, it's like, it's okay if it's both. It's okay if it's both. It doesn't have to be just one side. Honest echoes. Listen to the whispers of your heart, for you know the whole truth. This is basically saying going with your heart. I think that's always a good idea. Your overthinking mind can just paralyze you sometimes. And sometimes you just have to step out, which I think that's part of what the Fool was telling us as well. Sometimes you just kind of gotta trust, I guess. Go forth. Go forth in the wood. Into saving grace, into forgiving yourself and forgiving others. It heals the wound and it sets you free. I think that's that mother wounds, father wounds thing I was talking about. I feel like you're still stuck in this labyrinth of choices because you haven't quite gone deep enough yet. I know you're in a rush to get to this queen, but you have to come right. If you can't have a two-way conversation where you tell her all about your experience and then she tells you about hers, and you may not want to hear some of that shit, which means your defense mechanisms will come up, and then you'll start acting in a way that later on you'll ruminate about, and you'll be like, why the fuck did I say that? That comes from one of your parents, or both. That comes from wounding that they caused towards you and that they demonstrated to you. You have to examine that. And you have to examine all the ways in which you accidentally enacted those behaviors that you don't like in your current life. And you have to be ashamed, because if it doesn't hurt, you don't grow. You have to remember how much it hurts so that you don't make the same mistakes again. And that's your saving grace. Because then you learn to forgive people because you realize how flawed you are. And in forgiving and taking ownership of your own flaws and for changing your behavior, there's going to be a complex slew of emotions that happen after that. But you always have to remember, it comes down to just you. How can you affect your own behavior? How can you take ownership of your path from this moment forward? I know the past is the past, but how do we move forward from here without making these same mistakes? With more honesty, with more clarity, with more authenticity, with more of a backbone, and not just towards her, towards everyone in your life, that this will be who you are now. Someone who is authentically themselves, someone who is true to themselves, someone who is learning how to dance in duality between tough choices and hope. That's pretty cool. I think you need to meditate a little bit more, though. Feels like you got some work to do. I love you.